It's gonna be depressing. Okay. Cut. Balatro. Slay Spire. Rotator.
Bullet holes in the wall. Okay, we're coming. We're coming as fast as we can.
These games are fun at pacing because you're gonna chill,
2019,
but they
just
do
3 days
engage
before
you.
graduation. Shots were
Get to
fired
play
at
at your
STEM
pace.
school in Douglas County, Colorado.
Require some
The following
knowledge and
report
some,
is based on
some
police
thinking.
records, and most of the
Fun and
footage
games,
has never
maybe.
been seen before until now. Please note that while the following footage is intense, it does not show anyone being physically harmed or injured. The horror began almost at the end of the school day, just after 1:50 p.m. Countless additional calls to emergency services began to pour in. With each one, the situation appeared more dire.
Where is the shooter? Room 107. Is it just a single shooter? Is it one person? No. As far as I know, but I don't know. Is the shooter down or is our shooter still shooting? What? We have stated a shot, yes.
Every second counted. Officers from the police department, sheriff's department, and the closest SWAT team all deployed in force and raced for the school. Some of them didn't even have time to don protective gear, but rushed onwards all the same.
No access. Let's bust the window. Here.
Yeah, I don't know why people are celebrating Cooker being gone. I think that it's just a massive loss for everybody. Yeah, it's not perfect, a bunch of cringe stuff on there. It's overall goofy, but what do you stand to gain from not having it? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Eyes in there, you guys are security. You see them moving.
Dude, it's just so stupid, man. It's so stupid.
Hey, wow. We're gonna need this later. So we gotta recover this.
Elsewhere, another group of law enforcement officials forced entry through a different door and were about to get a nasty surprise.
Go, let's go. Go.
Chat, don't do it. Don't do it. I saw it, don't do it. Oh, man. Come on, man. It's today. Right? I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know. I see
Despite
something,
two bullets narrowly
and I'm
missing
not
the
gonna
first
say
responders, they didn't return fire.
Yeah.
A decision that would later
not
be
look
proven wise.
at the chat for your wisdom of the crowd. It's not wisdom of the crowd in the chat. The chat does not represent the common person. I have faith that this is not the common person.
How many do we think we have? Two entered that room. Two? This is one of them? I don't know.
He's the one I pulled out. He had the gun in his hand. He's prone out. He's got him.
Pat him down now.
I have bullets in my
You better start talking. How many other people are in here? Roll over. Where the fuck is the other one? What is he looking?
Okay, so this is the shooter, and then the cop was the security didn't get shot, right? They returned fire on this bum motherfucker right here, right?
Look like what kind of gun is he carrying?
He has purple hair.
If the scene in the hall seemed like a nightmare, what was happening inside the classrooms was even worse. More than 1,000 students, from kindergartners all the way to 12th graders, were trapped, terrified, and in mortal danger. Some of them took the chance to film what they may have thought
Okay. Security shot at them. They didn't return fire. That's it.
would be their last moments alive.
Lost. Out of sight. Please. Lockdown.
When law enforcement enters the first classroom, the horrific scene they found was something straight out of a horror movie.
Let me see your hands! Back to the doors open. We have shot. We have people shot. Go through. I got it. Who's shot?
Out of sight.
Right, anybody hurt?
Please.
Anybody get your guns on your head? We need to send up a warm zone. Hey, let's pick him up. Let's do a good carry. I need help. Good carry. It's gonna be tough. Sit him up. Sit him up. Sit him up. Where at your leg, man? All right. You get that arm. I got this side. Where's the other shooter? Somebody covering us? The shooter's behind us. Let's go, bro. No, pick him up. Pick him up. Pick him up. Hey.
Elsewhere, as police urgently secured the first suspect, it quickly became clear that something was off. The suspect's behavior would only become stranger as the interaction continued.
Roll over. I got you right here. Okay, I got a 9mm magazine. Got anything else on you?
Just my phones.
Just your phones? Nothing else? What?
Been exposed.
Been exposed to what?
No. To what? I'm trans and my breast just flew everywhere.
You're what?
I'm transgender and I flashed everyone.
That's the least of your worries right now.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, we know. We're f***ing working on it.
What the officers don't know yet is that they've only scratched the surface, and that there is still another shooter lurking inside the school. The victim was identified by his classmates as Kendrick. He had been shot twice, but getting him to safety and emergency medical personnel turned out to be easier said than done.
Put the legs down.
I'm not gonna
Put
say
the legs
anything
down. Get the upper
if I
body
speak.
up. Upper body up now.
Right.
Go, Mike. Go. Go.
I can flat out say nigger, but
Fine, lift. Go.
anything else, anything more, no.
He's not going anywhere. Put the
No
legs
shot.
down now. Get his upper body up.
Right,
Get
that's
him
the
like
type of
Come on, bro. It's not the way it's gonna work.
that's not no, that's the type of
As the
censorship
race
used in
to
Twitter.
save Kendrick's life continued,
Right, you
the
say a
officer
bad
guarding the
word and
suspect
it's
turned to the
funny.
two witnesses in the hall for further information.
You say something obvious and every word doesn't matter. Alright,
As soon as I grabbed him, that's when I saw you guys come in, I dropped my gun. Like, put your foot on me, put your foot on me, put your foot on me.
Did you shoot at all?
I shot one round and I realized
Did
it
you
was
hit him?
friendly.
Did you hit anybody?
No, I realized it was one of your guys and I dropped my gun.
I got you.
That's right. The security guard had been the one to fire at police. In addition to the chaos at the school,
I mean, he did pretty
more
good.
frantic calls were coming in, not only from
I
students
mean, I don't
and
blame him.
teachers,
He's
but
a
now
dick.
parents
This
who had
happens at the
heard
school.
about the situation.
You're
Well, if they need to put
completely out of your
themselves,
mind,
what can you
right?
do? I mean, you're gonna pre-fire for
Yeah.
cover fire and to make people
You're
not push through.
you're on.
I mean, it's the right call.
Dude, you're completely locked in. You don't think about anything else, but it's COD, right? You're just playing COD in real life.
Okay, do
You
not
don't care
go
who it
to the
is, you just
school,
shoot.
Okay, there's a lot of police activity. You need to stay away from the school. This is true. Ma'am, you need to stay away from the school, okay? Okay, all right.
Not all of the parents got the message, though, and began to show up to the still active scene.
Get in the cars. Get away. I don't care where you go. Just go away.
Closer to the school, other officers had finally succeeded in moving Kendrick outside, only to face a new problem.
I got a chest.
Medic close? Do we have any medics?
I got a chest seal right here. He's right here. We gotta start treating him on our f***ing own.
I need a medic! We need a medic!
While tensions run high in this life and death situation, officers still have to wrangle to find the second shooter. In situations like these, paramedics usually do not enter the scene immediately for their own safety. SWAT medics usually make contact faster, but at this time, they were still on the way.
Okay, ready? Hold on. We got to go one at a time. We need to get him at least into recovery. There's not much else we can do for him without fire. Let's get him on the side this way.
Inside, another group of officers came across a second victim. Thankfully, this injured student was still conscious.
Okay, just breathe, okay? Ready? Okay, guys, so we got a scene here. We got a scene here, so 106. Wait a second. Armed escort. We're coming out. We got you.
Where's the medic?
Medics. Left.
A second victim was not the only thing police found. A boy with purple hair, matching the description of the second shooter, turned up in one of the classrooms.
We just got one in here?
What is your name?
Devin Erickson.
Who?
Devin Erickson.
Evan Erickson?
Devin Erickson. With the DEVONERICKSON. Do you have him or somebody else? Because I know what he had on him.
What?
And he's transgender, so he's gonna have a binder on underneath, a black binder on.
And this is Alex?
This is Alec. A-L-E-C. Alec McKinley.
Devin was 18 years old, but at 16, Alec was still a minor. Speaking of Alec, out in the hall, police witnessed increasingly strange behavior.
Stop what?
They won't stop talking. Stop!
Are there only two of you?
Yes.
You're positive.
Yes. They're telling me to run.
What?
They're telling me to
What
run.
type of facility is
You're
this?
not going anywhere, trust me.
If
You
it's
move some, you're gonna get
kindergarten
broken,
all
you
the way to
understand that?
12.
You stay right the there.
Usually
Police
it's
would learn
separate,
more about
even
what
in
to
the
make
US,
of this
no?
strange outburst later.
put,
In that moment, Alec provided the
Fake
first
schizo?
clue in a series of increasingly
you
harrowing
put
items of
at
evidence
least
investigators would discover.
1 through 6 part, right? It's in elementary school. And then you can have the other 6.
In the other room, Devin was
maybe
telling
separate,
police the exact
and
same
even
thing.
separate
making me give
with
him
middle
all the
school
stuff that
and
is
high
me.
school, right?
I was just supposed to watch the door. There's
I've
only
never
one way
seen
he's
this
gonna let me
before.
live. I have proof. No. My house might be on fire as well. It's next to Thunder Ridge. He tried to light my mom's car on fire. There's animals in the house.
Attention, please.
Lou. It sent somebody to his house, too.
Probably not. I don't buy it.
It sent somebody to his house.
He tried to light my
light
mom's
his house
car
on fire.
and my pets are in there. I didn't want to hurt it.
What?
Hey guys, just FYI, we're gonna move these guys here.
I just feel like you would have to be a pretty meticulous criminal in order to take control of somebody entirely, whatever, right? And make them do stuff for you in a way that there's no way out of them, and there's no possible scenario where they escape or tell somebody or whatever. It's like almost impossible. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. Especially not a kid doing this shit.
We're gonna move them out, okay?
Listen, I need to know any other people involved in this.
Any of the people involved? I don't think so, but there's a chest rig in my car, though, that he had. I don't know if he put anything in the pockets.
All right. Okay. You ready to go? Yeah.
Alec was also ready for transport.
And the fact that they have a video of it means that it was probably premeditated as like it was mostly his plan, but the other guy had like a way out plan, and it was all it doesn't like
Ready?
also,
All right.
whatever, I'm done for it.
Roll to me. Stand up. Hold on just a second. Sorry. Coming out. Coming out.
Alec and Devin might have gotten to leave, but for law enforcement and everyone else at the school, things were only just beginning. The rest of the school still needed to be cleared, and the students evacuated.
Police, open the door! Open the door!
Has also been cleared.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
I need key access to check the
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Everyone, keep your hands up. You're okay. You guys are doing okay. Thank you, sir. Hands up. You're okay. Keep moving.
Come with me. We're gonna look over that way. We're gonna look over this way. We're gonna go this way. One over there. We're over there. We're gonna go over there. See those guys waving over there? We need you to go over there.
9 victims in total were identified. The uninjured students were evacuated to a nearby rec center to unite with their families. Officers would remain stationed at the school as well. Those on scene tried to make sense of the situation as they kept the scene secure.
Yes, the dad had like purple hair and whatever, probably playing the Joker role.
Devin, the suspect with purple hair, continued to exhibit signs of distress as he arrived at the police station. He waited in an interrogation room while the police dealt with his companion Alec. Alec's arrival and interrogation did not go nearly as smoothly. At only 16 years old, Alec's mother needed to be contacted before questioning could take place. But this was not the only issue.
Hey, a bullet just fell out of his pocket.
The bullet was collected, and Alec's hands were also placed in paper bags to preserve evidence like gunshot residue for crime scene technicians. After these tasks were complete, it wasn't long before Alec's mother, Morgan, was brought in.
Man, that residue's not going anywhere, let's be honest.
Not you. You know that. This is not you. You know this. Do you know this? Do you know this?
I don't care. This is like some shitty ass parent, shitty ass mom.
Yeah, she didn't give a
for
fuck.
the cops, trying
doesn't
to be like,
give
oh
a
yeah,
fuck.
I actually care about this or whatever. Like there were no signs type. Mom, I'm good on that. All this is bullshit. I'm not receptive to any of this ever.
Has your name officially been changed to Alec? No. It's Maya? Okay. But I will call you Alec.
Because Alec was a minor, the detectives read the required Miranda rights to both Alec and Morgan. Alec remained willing to talk.
Do you agree to answer questions with me without a lawyer? Okay. Mom, is the sign here saying that he's waiving his rights?
What?
What is that? Means he's gonna talk to me without a lawyer present. So you also have a right. Mom can stay in, Mom can leave. She can leave.
The detectives gave Alec and Morgan a moment to talk things over and come to an agreement on how to proceed.
Just so much. I have nothing for me. Yes, you do. I'm failing all my classes. Doesn't matter.
Skill issue.
Doesn't matter.
Dude, you do this over being a noob.
You just don't.
Weird. You fail your class, and then instead of pulling your effort, pulling your weight to study, you study getting a gun and shooting up the entire school. What a fucking waste.
They eventually agreed that
dude.
Alec would
What a
converse with
fucking
the detectives
waste.
alone.
What a moron
and
you
Morgan
are.
signed off on Alec's waiver of rights before stepping out. A crime scene technician entered next to collect swabs of Alec's hands to test for gunshot residue. And
Chat, just a record, chat. Guys, we've seen these videos all the time. I'm pretty sure we've seen like one or two, like
Imagine being so arrogant.
Ever. And it was like the
You
black
think
mama with the,
you
black
deserve
kid. Apart
to
from that, we've never
be
seen
better
anybody
than you
actually
really
come out
are
and do some bullshit acting. This is all
and
performative.
get your
This is
classes,
bullshit.
all of your classes, without studying, never doing anything.
According to
If you're
police
dumb as
reports
fuck,
and what
you're dumb
Alec
as
later
fuck.
shared with the
And you have to live with that.
investigators,
And
Alec's
this
mother suffered
type
from
of person
stress-induced
is
seizures
so
and other
arrogant,
medical
and
conditions.
they think
When
they
the
need
CSI
everything
technician
and they
had finished her
deserve
work,
everything. You
the
know you don't.
detectives returned
Man.
to get to the
Life
heart
is
of the
unfair.
matter.
You just deal with
Are
it.
you sure you're
You don't do
physically
this
okay?
shit.
Okay. And I just need to ask, is there one or two
Like
of
you
you?
just
Is there a
deal
third
with
out
that,
there
man.
that helped
You have a
So
problem,
it's the two of you?
you just deal
Several
with it. You
rooms
don't
over,
give
Devin
up.
was also prepped for interrogation.
You never give up.
However, the
And even if you
conversation
give
police
up,
were about to have
you're not
would
gonna
not go anything like
give
they
up, and then
expected.
instead of actually giving up, you're just gonna push it away on everybody else instead of yourself. What a lazy fucking bum.
How long have you known Alec?
What a
I've
cunt
known
you are,
Alec
man.
for really just this semester.
With Alec, the detectives began with a similar line of questioning.
How long have you known there?
Since the beginning of this year.
How has STEM been?
Probably the worst experience.
Tell me why.
Well, on top of being transgender, I got a lot of crap for that.
How long have you been Alec?
I
choose
came
to
out
do
to my
that.
friends in about 8th grade.
8th grade? Okay.
If you can't deal with your own decisions, then don't. And just reel back on your decisions.
Tell me why it's been really hard.
You make a decision, you
I
better
just have to
stand
live
by
with
it.
the fact that no one sees
If you
me for
can't,
me,
then never
and
make a
I will
decision,
never
dude.
be who I want to be. Anything. I'm not a boy. I'm not a girl. I'm just.
Right? And if your decision doesn't pay out the way you want it to,
So I've
then you
been
deal with the consequences
ready for this for
of your
a couple
actions,
weeks
right?
now.
And then that's what you deal with.
I texted Devin
It's not
and
that
I said,
hard.
let's hang out, basically. And then I was talking to him about it, and he was like, why? Like, what's your motive? And I was talking about how
I'm not gonna check my chat and monitor my chat. I don't give a shit. You know, I'm gonna tell you why? Because I don't care what this person is. They are mentally ill as fuck.
Yes.
They're incredibly ill. And you know, you say they're not ill because it's trans. I don't give a shit. You pull up to your school with a fucking gun. You're ill as fuck. I don't care what you are. You could be Optimus Prime for all I give a fuck about. It doesn't matter to me. You're ill.
I know what people say about me. I'm not dumb. I gave them a reason to be scared because they need to think about how what you really say can drive someone to do this.
Alec agreed to let the police download data from the pink iPhone mentioned earlier, including social media apps. The most information was found on Snapchat and told investigators that there was much more to the case than first met the eye. Devin's electronics and social media were also under the microscope, but the most obvious red flags were found on Alec's accounts.
When I go to jail, can you keep my streaks? So don't you just love it when you're having a wonderful day and depression comes just you in the... Then take the trash out.
This was just the tip of the iceberg in regards to what investigators unearthed on Alec's electronics. Before doing a deep dive into Alec's social media, though, Devin continued to relay the events that took place that morning.
Everything didn't go perfect. You give up, and then you want attention, want pity points, and you do this shit.
When did you first see him?
My psychology class. And I told Miss Evil
yeah, that's not gonna work for you.
She wanted me to lie about it.
It's not gonna work.
So that I could leave, and then that's when we went to the house the first time.
That's not how life works, man.
As well.
Who's David?
He's one of my friends since 6th grade.
David confirmed that he met up with Devin that morning around 8:30.
And you think, when do you learn this?
Because of how happy I was feeling.
Or the time you learn this is when you're a toddler and you steal the toys from the other kid and he gets mad at you. And then everybody else gets mad at you because you did something bad and egocentric.
Drug use has been getting
because you're a thief, right? You're the bad person. You're a bad person. And nobody likes you. Then you learn.
It looks like Devin may not have been the
then you
only
learn,
one
and
with a
you're
substance
supposed to
abuse
know
problem.
this when you're 4 years old.
He used to have them.
That's how much of a retard you are. You're 16. You're 12 years old. You're 12 years
Devin also
retarded.
shared that someone had
What a
spread an
fucking
explicit
retard.
rumor at STEM about Alec.
Hey, guys, there were no signs.
Dude.
Hey, what is this?
What
Ninth
a
grade or
fucking
whatever? I don't know what it is.
retard.
Doing cocaine and shit. There were no signs. Fuck off. I'm over it, man.
Which had been very upsetting.
But you don't
Devin
get to
said
have
he'd never
everything.
expected
You learn this
Alec.
when you're a toddler, man. You don't get to have all the candies. You don't get to have all the toys. Not everything is yours. You get to share. You don't get to take. You don't just get to take. You learn this when you're 4. Dude,
While speaking with
you're 12 years
Alec
retarded.
reported that life at home was
You're
just as tumultuous
12
as it was
years
at school.
retarded.
According to Alec and Morgan, Alec's father, Jose, was no longer in the picture, and currently 14 family members were all living under the same roof. Alec's mom, Morgan, consented to let police execute a search warrant on the family house.
It's not even legal.
However, nothing was found in regards to the shooting.
There's bunk beds in a fucking living room.
All the evidence, it seemed, would be found in the school and witness statements.
I'm sorry if I'm not totally clear-headed. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around his life's totally hosed now. Totally hosed.
In the interrogation room with Devin, he told police more about what led up to the violent outburst at STEM school.
Last night he told me not to come to school tomorrow, and I saved it, and I wanted to save my friends because I have a lot of friends at that school. And then I saved that message, and then I was going to tell my friends. It's saved on Snapchat on my phone, and I was going to tell my friends, and that's when he started threatening me.
What else did he tell you?
He told me that he was just super. He wanted to get revenge on a lot of people.
I like told him that Alec wanted to get revenge against another STEM school student.
He told me he was considering killing his mom and his siblings too, because he hates them, but he didn't do that. I kept telling him not to. And he said he was going to kill me if I told anyone, and the only way I'd let him live is if he helped me.
Back with Alec, the police asked more about the planning process and Devin's role.
No.
If Devin was as innocent as he claimed, the detectives needed to understand why he had a firearm in his hands.
Had you guys talked about this last night? Yeah. He was saying something about a Snapchat text message conversation.
I mean,
Tell me about
I
that.
think he's trying his best to put all the blame on the other guy.
We code name for this.
If there's
and
two
we would
people
joke about it all the time.
two thugs in a
is what we
crime,
called it.
that's usually what happens. Is they try to put all the blame on the other guy and then
What was the code word?
hope they don't get too much
like a gun
too much punishment.
was our code word for. Or can't remember what was our code
But
word.
you know,
for
the
gun.
police know that
There
you're
was
trying to do
another
that.
code word Devin and Alec had too.
They take account of
the
that.
meaning
And
behind it and the implications of
they're
its
gonna
use
get both of
would
you even
change
harder
everything.
because of that. Because you're
It
more
was like,
likely
are you
to
down to,
expose
like,
all the details
jokingly, I
of
was
your
like,
crime.
Are you down? And
Right.
he was like, haha, that's funny. Like, haha, yeah. But really it was like, I wasn't kidding. And he like was ready to tell the officer someone what was going on. But I was like, you'd really do that to your best friend? Like, this is what best friends are for. Like, you're with me till the end. And this is the end.
I didn't think he was really going to do it. I never thought he could actually do that because he never seemed like that crazy. He didn't seem like evil. He just seemed sad and like lonely.
At school, I'm a completely different person. No one would ever have guessed this from me.
What kind of person are you at school?
What?
So I read the quotes.
Druggy.
I try to be friends with
Tweaker.
everyone. I try to.
Tweaker.
I'm a people pleaser.
I've said
And I
that you
kinda
don't
let
take
people walk
drugs.
all over me.
You don't take the
Mom,
drugs
bye, everybody.
that people. You don't take hard drugs, of course.
Don't laugh at
You don't
me.
take soft drugs,
Walk.
recreational drugs. You don't do that shit.
God,
You don't take the drugs your doctor prescribes for you. Your psychiatrist. You don't take those. You don't
As
take
they
those. They're
continued
bad for you.
investigating,
They're
police
gonna
had to
mess you
wonder
up.
what changed in
And they're gonna
Alex's
ruin your
approach.
life.
Morgan
You don't take
McKinney,
any of
Alex's
that.
mom, had
No
her
matter
own
who
theory.
says
All
anything
these
to
years,
you,
I've
listen to
never
me.
told my
You
kid
don't
not
take
to
the
hang out
drugs.
with certain
Right?
somebody.
What's the
And
risk
about 3
in
months
taking
ago,
them?
I told him to stop hanging out
You
with.
get messed up. You spiral out of
And then
control.
Devin,
Your entire life derails.
Okay.
And what's the risk in not taking them? Is you feel sick for a little bit. You feel bad for a little bit. You see some things. You hear some things in your head.
I was like, you need to focus on
Okay,
you right now.
just
Alex
that's
Snapchat
something we can
revealed
deal
the
with.
side of Devin that Morgan
When you
might
take
have
the
found
drugs,
concerning.
it's kind of hard to force them out again, right? That's gonna take a while, so you just don't take them, and then you never get to deal with the problem, right? Because there's no problem. You're creating the problem, not solving it.
Just how much of a role Devin's influence played on the stem attack would come out
Okay,
in due
dude.
time. For now, though, Alec offered this explanation.
Really, there was like
What the fuck was that?
a breaking point last night with my siblings. They don't care.
Yeah, classic.
Chad, this would be edgy if he posted that like anonymously or whatever. But this guy's in school and posting that on his like main social. Are people not seeing that? And I don't get it. Are people not seeing that?
No, people do
But then in
that.
high
It's
school, I
kids
would've
that
gone-
do
they
that.
would've
They
fucking
do
clapped
that.
my
It's common.
cheeks. Like,
It's
what?
everywhere.
Like, no one cares. So I'm finally gonna give in to my thoughts, because what's the point of trying to protect everyone else?
What do you think about hurting your family?
Only yesterday.
As Alec shared more about the triggering moment before taking the lead on the shooting, Devin's assistance in the horrid attack began to take shape.
Did something happen at school this week? Or what help me understand what the big thing, the analogy you always hear, the straw that broke the camel's back. What was that?
This kid kept calling me by my biological name, and that's what made me lose it.
Devin agreed that Alec's mood had been noticeably different that morning.
Today was like when it really got scary. It was like a different person, kind of like seeing that. To me was like, okay, maybe Alec is really like going like crazy this time.
That's
According to Alec, Devin's uncertainty had been a part of the plan all along.
Devin's,
Dude,
he's an idiot.
I'm giving it a
complete
name.
idiot. So basically anything
I'm
I
gonna
say,
give my child a name.
he would be like,
And then
okay,
when
because I'm his best friend.
people are gonna
Forensic
call my
research has
child
found that
by
in
their
cases
name,
where
I'm
there
gonna
is
get
more than
mad
one
as
perpetrator,
fuck.
there's
I'm
always
gonna-
an alpha figure to
I'm
execute the
I'm gonna
plan.
rob
While there can be multiple
a
submissive
whole
characters,
convenience
there's
store
only one dominant
just
personality.
because
Devin's guidance counselor, Ms.
the
Wright,
lady at
had
the
also
counter
shared some insight on the
kept
subject
calling
with
my
the
son.
police.
Alex is weird.
He kept calling my son
Gravitates to
Alex.
vulnerable people.
I didn't give him that
Do you know
name
what I
so you
mean?
could call him
Devin's
Alex,
very
man.
vulnerable.
What a
Was Alec
what a
bullied in
bitch.
any ways?
What a fucking
I know
bitch.
that Alec is a bully.
This would
I mean,
require a lot
I'm
more
not
investigation,
tolerating this
but
shit,
for the time
right?
being, the detectives
You deserve to get
prioritized
fired
establishing a
if you call my
timeline of
son
events
by
from
his
both
name.
Devin's and Alex's
You
perspectives.
deserve to get fired. What a fucking
Originally, I
bitch.
was gonna figure out a way
And,
for
like,
someone to buy me a gun.
At that
but
point, it already
no one
doesn't make
would.
sense.
And
But then you twist it and
Devin
now
and I had a
you
conversation
shoot
where he
people.
was like, yeah, my parents have like a
But
couple
we all know
guns
what's
in their
going on in your
house.
head.
In the other room, Devin continued
Right?
his
You
harrowing
look
version
at
of
life.
that morning's
You
events.
see things that
I
aren't
went to school,
perfect.
went to back to my house.
So you think to
And
yourself,
as I was about to go inside,
wait,
I opened the garage, and then
these are all the things that I feel are negative, so I'm gonna feel them, right? And I'm gonna ignore all the positive things that are out there. I'm just gonna focus on the bad stuff, right? Because they're problems, and I'm gonna want to fix them. So I'm focused on these problems, and then I look out, and I see these other people that don't have them. Then I'm gonna get jealous. Then I'm gonna think, why do they get to not have that, and I have this? I have all this baggage. And then instead of fixing the problem, you're gonna push it out and blame it on them, right? You're gonna blame it all on them because it's all about you. You deserve everything, right? You get to have everything. You deserve a perfect life, and when it doesn't go perfect, it's everybody else's fault. It's the world's fault. It's their fault, not yours. It's their fault, right? And then they do this because they look at that and they want to get pity.
I didn't break into his house.
They think that everybody understands then, but they don't because everybody else already learned the lesson when they were 4 years old, man. They were 4 years old and they knew that they didn't get to have everything. You don't get to have everything. Not everything is perfect. You don't just get to have it, okay?
In my mom's room, but it was locked and I didn't know where the keys were.
That morning, though, the lack of keys was little more than a speed bump.
And then I led him to the safe, and that's when he hit it a few times and then told me to pull it out and made me pull it out.
What did he hit it with?
Yeah, but made him.
The axe he got in my
Yeah, but he made him.
garage.
I was just like holding it up.
He
and I was
made
like,
him do it.
Do it.
Okay. And what happened after that?
He just kept crying and opening the safe, and he had to help me pry it open.
According to the videos found on Alex's phone, this appeared to be the truth.
Open it! Open it.
I'm trying.
Additionally, when searching Devin's house, police found the scene just like it was described. However, they still suspected something wasn't quite right about Devin's story.
He hit open the gun safe with the axe a bunch of times, tried with the crowbar, and that's how he pried open the door without the key. It like popped out. He was making me help him so he didn't get too tired, because he didn't want me to be able to run away. It was wearing me out a bunch, and he just kept telling me to, and I told him like I just can't anymore. And so he grabbed the crowbar and pried it open, just like broke it. Basically, it's just like bent a bunch.
What were you writing on the walls?
The voices win.
The voices win?
Yeah.
And where did you write that?
In his mom's closet.
More about these mysterious voices and the nature of the writing would be investigated in due time. Back with Devin, he told police everything he and Alec took out of the safe.
What is she gonna do next? Is she gonna, when they go away, is she gonna scream out and randomly speak to the voices, even though she wasn't doing it any time before?
Making me do the cocaine.
Dude, I don't think it's schizo, dude. I think it's the Adderall. I think it's your fault again. It's your fault because you're taking cocaine. You're taking drugs, man. It's your fault. It's not the voices. It's your fault because the voices are there because you put them there. You made them there, man. Wow.
I had to help him carry some stuff, but I carried the ammo, and then I didn't touch the guns until you made me put them in the guitar case because he wanted it to be inconspicuous.
In the other
So if you ever get a
Alec
child,
admitted to vandalizing Devin's mom's
the
car
most
and
important
explained
thing
more
you
about
could
the
teach
reason.
them
So
is not that
after
they
you
don't
set mom's car
deserve
on fire,
everything.
Is mom's car on
They
fire?
just
Tell me about
don't.
that.
He spray painted
Right.
it, and then I put gasoline all over it.
You don't get to
And
have
then
everything.
he
You don't
lit 'em.
spoil, or you can
When
spoil
searching
them.
Devin's house, the
but
police
you
had
put
seen
limits
this for themselves.
You
The
make
side
it so
of the
that
car was tagged with the number 666,
when
a
they get
pentagram,
something,
and the phrase
when something
society.
good happens,
The interior showed
you
evidence
don't
of burning, but the fire had apparently gone
try to
out
make
before
it
the
as
conflagration spread.
a gift
In a story
or something that
full
they
of
earn.
disturbing details, what
If
Alex
something
said
bad
next
happens
was
and
perhaps
something
the
you don't
most
want,
hair-raising
you don't
fact
put the
so
blame
far.
on everybody else all the
When
time.
you got there.
Oh, we just walked
You
in.
tell them how it is,
So tell me when you get to Miss Harper's room, what
and you
happened?
tell them how
I
to
lied
be
and
better.
say, I
Right?
need to talk to this
You make it a challenge,
Literally, I
make
didn't
it fun for them
room.
on how to fix the
And
problem because it's fun.
basically,
Solving problems is fun,
my aunt
especially
was in
for
there for
children.
what reason, I
They
don't
like
know.
they like doing things.
And
They
I
like
was
being
like,
creative.
"You
They
need
like
to
all
leave."
that.
Grace, Alec's aunt,
But if
who
you're
goes
just
to
gonna,
the same school,
if you're just
spoke
gonna
with
spoil
police
them,
too, and shared her memories of the
then
interaction.
you're just
Said
gonna
that
get
Devin was kind of upset and he thought he was
apathetic.
going to get in a
You're
fight
gonna
with our...
apathetic.
He said he was going to calm Devin down.
They're gonna be
Speaking
pathetic
of counselors,
when they
that
grow up.
morning, Devin's guidance counselor had been trying to track him down anyway. According to her, he was not on track to graduate in 3 days since he was failing all of his classes.
Do you think he knew what was going to happen?
I hope not, but I feel like that's a possibility, yeah.
Devin, meanwhile, tried to explain his plan.
Well, I'm also dented. Chat, isn't an ant supposed to be like a... ant is like a father's brother? Something like that.
I was still kind of trying to talk him out of it and get help, but my plan was to leave. And then I was going to go to the office and I was going to tell them anyways. Because I was just going to leave my suitcase, or not the suitcase, the guitar case in there. Has a suitcase handle. I was just going to, I left it in there and I went to the office and told Miss Harper I was sick. Mitchell walked me to the office because she told him to.
You went, so you want to go, why did you want to go to the office?
Because I wanted to see if I could just report him and get anything, but he threatened me. He said he was still going to kill people over the over the phone. He said he would kill me and everybody in the office.
Mitchell, another senior at STEM, had no idea what was about to happen, but reportedly had problems with Alec.
Do you know Mitchell? I never talk to him. I try not to associate with him. Basically, all I ever hear about him is how he hates me.
How do you hear that he's saying all this stuff?
Through Devin.
Okay. How is Devin hearing it?
Because that's all Mitchell talks about, apparently.
When the police spoke with Mitchell directly, though, he did not mention having any issue with Alec. However, he did report an incident with Devin that took place a few months earlier.
And I was like, hey, Devin, and he was ignoring me. And then I said, is the skinwalker deaf or something like that? And then he turned around, well, at least I'm not the loop away from me. And I'm not going to lie, it thought had crossed my mind that he would seem like kind of a person who would try to harm other students. Very sarcastic and generally kind of mean with his remarks.
Mitchell would have more to add to the investigation later. For now, the detectives continued to question Devin.
Why didn't you tell Mitchell?
Why didn't I tell Mitchell?
You walked to the office?
Because I didn't want him to freak out about anything. I wanted to get to the office so I could tell an adult and get the security officer so no one freaked out.
Okay. So you go back to the office, then what?
They gave me some water and stuff because I said I was feeling sick and dehydrated. Because I was all sweaty and freaked out from the cocaine because I just kept running trying to delay and get him to change his mind. And then they gave me an ice pack and some water. I drank all the water with the ice pack on my head. Then they left the room and closed the door, and that's when I checked my phone and saw his thing.
Devin hadn't been shy about expressing this exact concern to the officers on scene at the school, as he insisted that he only wanted to save everyone.
He came to the door outside of the office. He Snapchat messaged me that he was going to rush the office and kill me and everyone in there if I didn't come back. And I was just super freaked out because, this is the worst thing I've ever been through. I can't remain calm when he's doing that. I was just so freaked out and shaky when I got there.
When you guys were walking down that hallway, did you guys talk about it? How did you guys decide what doors to go? Tell me about that.
I said you cover the other door. So we went through separate doors.
Devin picked up the story when he and Alec entered Miss Harper's room.
So you both enter at the same time?
I think so. And I set down the suitcase and I tried to get to leave one more time, but it seemed like he wasn't listening to me and he was pissed off. So I grabbed the suitcase and I was gonna leave, but then I saw Alec look at me and kind of nod at me because he knew I was trying to leave. Because I opened the door again and then I closed it and just opened the suitcase and told everybody to stay down, not move. And then I was just gonna run.
Alec, however, added a tiny detail that had the potential to change everything.
He picks up the guitar case, acts like he's going to leave, tells Miss Harper that he's leaving, and then goes to the door and takes off the magnet slip so no one from the outside could get in.
The magnet was a standard security feature on all the doors at STEM school that were instituted as part of the lockdown protocol. If moved from their place, the strips would immediately lock the doors, securing everyone inside and locking out anyone who is outside the room. The police likely wondered why Devin hadn't addressed this tiny detail if he was an unwilling participant, but they would return to this later. In the course of the investigation, the police also spoke with Ms. Harper, the teacher in room 107 when the shooting took place.
He grabs the guitar case. It's kind of really loud. Shuffling, shuffling, shuffling. Just to the point now where it's getting weird. Like, I'm like, why are you being so loud, child? And I thought he was just being rude to his classmates. In front of the door, he drops the guitar case, blocking the door. That's when I saw him pull the gun.
Back with Devin, the police tried to clarify more details.
Who pulled out a gun first?
Alec was pulling it out, and that's when I pulled mine out and told everyone not to move because I saw Alec reach for it because that was what he told me he was going to do.
Devin said, nobody move. And then that's when everyone started freaking out. And that's when, like, everything goes blurry. I still can't comprehend the fact that I did that. And, like, I still can't comprehend what I did.
A video clip from Snapchat hinted that this might not have been an entirely foreign feeling for Alec.
I feel like this isn't real.
What was Devin doing this? Could you see or hear him?
No, there was like a crowd of people jumping towards him, trying to get the gun away from Devin. And there was the other half of the class was coming towards me. And so that's when I was like shooting aimlessly.
Kendrick and Brendan both at the same time just rushed against me, and they it tackled me and hit me, which is when the gun I was holding went off.
It was so quick. It was as if he said, everybody
it went off?
Moving, and all of a sudden, bam, he's against the wall.
Did you say anything to Kendrick or Brendan when they came at you?
I told Kendrick and Brendan when they were rushing me, I started to yell no. And I was like trying to throw it down, and that's when I threw it down. And I was like, Brendan, no, I'm serious. Hey, here's the gun. Like, there's another gun in there. Alec has 2 guns. He has a Beretta and the revolver, and he's trying to kill everyone.
When the police talked to Brendan directly, he said that's not how his confrontation with Devin went at all.
At that moment, my brain went, this has to be a joke. But this was nanoseconds. I know it's nanoseconds because of how fast things went.
Articulate as well.
And by time
this guy's a gay chad. Look, that's a gay chad.
Delivering blows. During this confrontation, at the whiteboard where we were trying to move to the ground, I heard 1 or 2 shots. 1 or 2. During the wrestle, during the initial...
Dude, the voice, the look, everything. Just a giga chat all around. Holy shit.
Still was doing what he needed to do. As Devin laid on the ground and his hand was coming near, he attempted to twist the pistol back.
I haven't seen a mog this bad in a while.
When I saw this happening,
unbelievable.
I delivered as many blows as I could to the arm and was able to peel his fingers away from the grip of the handgun. At that point, he started apologizing and he immediately stopped resisting.
Devin, on the other hand, said he
look
never
at the
resisted
way,
at all.
Listen to the way he speaks as well.
Just let Brendan grab the gun and take it, and I immediately told him where all the other guns were, that Alex had a gun, what his name was. I told everybody where my stuff was, where everything was.
Chad, the gun puncher student story, or soy boy, cucklord, died, nails.
And then Brendan got all the guns, gathered them, and then I don't know what happened after. I was just laying on the ground telling people information so I could get out. I thought I heard more gunshots. I just heard a lot of yelling and screaming. I was just so in shock and freaked out. My ears were ringing from the gunshot because it was really close to me because he tackled me, and that's why just laid down.
Alec offered an alternate perspective on the chaos that followed the initial gunshots.
I don't remember who shot first, but I started freaking out because I still couldn't comprehend what I was doing. And I just started shooting randomly.
Shooting randomly? Yeah. At people, in the air, in the building,
just
or
in the
what?
air.
In the air. Tell me can you show how you were shooting?
I was just kind of like that.
Okay. And you were moving your hand? As you were moving your hand, were you pulling the trigger?
Yeah.
Ms. Harper, though, didn't seem to think that Alec's aim was random.
Alec, I believe, had shot at me. I had a bullet casing burn here. I tripped back and fell into the bookcase, and I fell down to the floor. I thought for a moment that Alec was standing over me to make sure I was dead, and so for a few seconds I played dead.
How many shots do you think you fired?
12.
How do you know that?
Because that's how many rounds was in the gun, and then it stopped shooting.
Alec exited the classroom intending to get the second gun. However, the students of 107 weren't having it.
So you said that a kid tackled, he was hitting on you? Or he was hitting you?
Yeah.
Sorry. Tell me about that.
This was after I started shooting, and he went onto Miss Harper's desk and jumped on me, and I tried to get out into the hallway, and then he started like banging my head against the floor, and then I like bit him to get him off me, and that's when Miss Harper like shoved him away and got on top of me.
I had Alec in my hands, and I was terrified that I didn't know all of a sudden if Alec,
Good
part of me was
teacher.
like, am I going to break this kid's neck? And I'm like, is this a shooter? Is this an innocent kid that got the gun? I don't know, let go. So I let go. Everybody was getting out of classroom screaming. I started screaming down the hallways, lockdown, 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 and my only goal was to get the rest of the school on lockdown.
She succeeded. Ms. Harper and several students made it to the office, where the lockdown alarm was activated throughout all of STEM school, saving countless lives. From there, she also called 911 and reported that 2 of the students who made it out with her had gunshot wounds.
I didn't know how many there were, so I wanted everybody on lockdown so we'd be safe. I didn't want anybody wandering the hallways if they were there.
Faizad. Okay. Don't look at the chat.
See it, I don't want to see it. Why did they do this?
While Ms. Harper tried to come to terms with what she'd lived through, Alec explained what happened after getting tackled.
And then that's when the teacher showed up, and he was in awe, and he took the gun and then put it on the floor because some kid got shot. I don't think he knew I was the one who had the gun. I think he just thought I was a kid who found the gun and was freaking out.
The teacher in question was the school IT worker, Mr. Pritchard, whose office was just across the hall from room 107. Alec was right. Mr. Pritchard had no idea that Alec was one of the shooters.
He gave it to me very easily, and so in my mind, he wasn't involved. So as I was walking into the classroom, Brandon's walking towards me with a semi-automatic pistol in his hand, and he's holding it by the barrel with the handle out towards me, and he walks up to me and hands it to me, and I take it. So at that point, I have 2 pistols in my hands. I walk over and I see Kendrick lying at an angle towards the front wall of the classroom.
Unattended in the hall, Alec took advantage of the opportunity.
I went in, go to my backpack to get another gun.
Dude, now I'm mad.
So I had that, and I was going to shoot myself, so I'm starting to walk away, and the security guard comes up with a gun in his hands and tells me to put it down, and I'm basically like, okay. I put the gun down, and he like kneed me to the ground, like put his knees on me.
The security guard, Sam, who subdued Alec, realized that something was wrong while taking his break all the way across the building. As soon as he heard the words shooting and room 107, he started running, weapon drawn. Sam spoke with the police directly multiple times.
I'm asking Alec, hey, are you alone? Where's the other shooters? What's going on here? Alec's only response was, kill me now. I don't deserve to live. As things are getting louder, they're coming. I'm like, who? Where? Alec kept replying and saying those things to me. Just kill me now. They're getting louder. I see an AR rifle and someone in plain clothes coming through the hallway. I didn't hear a breach. I didn't hear police or any of that. And I yelled security. I fired around.
One of the bullets from the friendly fire injured someone in room 106. Back with Alec, the police asked about some specific details.
Do you know if you hit any kids?
I don't. My aim's not good, so I'm not sure if I hit any kids. But I know Devin shot. He fired, and I don't know if it was me or him that hit this kid.
Do you know who that was?
I don't remember his name.
Is it a male?
Yeah.
Did you see what happened to that kid?
All I know is he was on the ground and I could hear him.
Bro, his name isn't
like,
bad.
screaming.
Bro, you guys are being so judgmental about this guy. Police did not announce themselves. And he's in air around the corner. Some kids telling people are coming or some shit like that. The guy shoots.
Yeah.
And that would normally avoid a fucking gunfight.
But he's just
right?
doing security
Some guy's
things.
there and he
If
hears
there's a
gunshots.
shooting,
He
he
fucking
needs
peek the
to
corner. Like you act
look
like you know
around
better.
for
Like you would've done better.
danger.
I don't get it.
And there's
Did
danger
you
if
see that
some
anybody?
guy comes at you with a rifle. There's danger.
Okay. Did you see her? And I think Josh got hit, but I don't know if that was.
Chad, not talking about the kid. I read the chat. I read the chat. People saying bad aim, dumb, whatever. They were not talking about the kid. It's the security guy shot. I'm not. I guess I need to stop it.
I like her if it went through Kendrick, because I heard someone say exit wound.
Statements from the witnesses revealed far more about who had been injured. As soon as Brendan noticed that Kendrick was down, he rushed to his side, while Josh kept Devin down.
I came over, immediately started tapping him. Kendrick, stay with me, you all right, you all right? No response, his breathing was completely staggered, his eyes rolled back.
In the midst of all this chaos, Brendan managed to call 911. Help was nearer than he expected, though, as he was aided immediately by Mr. Pritchard, who's a former Navy sailor.
And I'd asked Brandon if there was anything I could use to apply pressure to Kendrick's wound. He didn't find anything, so I just went ahead and started putting pressure with my hand. At that point, he was breathing. It was like he was almost kind of moaning, with like some spittle coming out of his lips. And I see Josh laying on top of Devin, and I looked and I saw Josh had some blood marks on his legs, but it didn't look like they were growing, so I just figured, okay, he's okay for now.
Devin Erickson, while still on the ground being held down by Josh, was going, Alec made me do it, I'm sorry, it wasn't my fault, and then just threw an absolute fit of aggravation. I got up in his face and I screamed as loud as I could, shut the fuck up. Where the Mr. Pritchard then responded with, please don't do that, keep your voice down. Devin then responded, there's a jacket out in the hallway to put pressure on. The left doorway.
While Brendan went to get the jacket, Mr. Pritchard made a grim discovery.
I looked back over and Kendrick stopped breathing at that point, and I was fearful that he had passed. I tapped him on the cheek. Hey, come on, stay with me. Checked for a pulse. I couldn't get one.
In the hallway, Brendan didn't find the jacket. Instead, he ran into the security guard and Alec.
And from the other end of the hallway, behind a little jut out for the size of the classroom, was a security guard. He was brandishing another Glock, and he told me to drop to the ground. I immediately did, and I yelled, 2 students have been shot, 2 students have been shot, I do not have a gun, we have one of the shooters in there. He then told me to crawl to him, and that is when I noticed that he had the second shooter, Alec, in handcuffs, off to the right side of the hallway.
How long do you think that all took?
Couldn't have been more than 2 minutes.
In addition to the carnage in the classroom, Alec's next comment made the situation even more hair-raising.
Yeah.
So when you saw
Clear
these
speak.
kids, especially Kendrick, go down, what was going on in your head? Was it, I'm going to continue shooting, or I'm going to help them, or was something else going on in your head?
Everything was quiet. Like, it's only quiet when, like, everything's, like, they're satisfied with what I'm doing. That's the only time they're quiet, is when I listen to them.
Alec's Aunt Grace said that Alec had previously reported hearing voices, but the family was unsure if this was true.
Because,
as opposed to the
a real
silence in Alec's
schizo
mind,
wouldn't talk
Devin
so
seemed to have
coherently,
experienced the
and he
resulting
wouldn't be able to
chaos in a
explain this
blur.
in a way that
He
people
only seemed to
understand.
remember
Many
bits and
people
pieces of
understand
what came
schizos
next.
or
What happened?
the therapist and the psychiatrist, because they understand that they are not to be understood. Right? Schizo people make no sense. They don't make any sense. You cannot use this in a way that makes sense. It's something they can find out later. Or they might notice some weird inconsistencies in the speech, and you find out later that they were on this drug, and this guy tried to help them, but it didn't help.
Now everyone's gonna think I'm a
You cannot use this in an argument.
By this
You're
point,
just gonna
police
look like
made
a
entry into the
moron
school to attend to the
because
wounded,
it's so
rescue the
clearly targeted
students,
and
and
it
of
makes
course,
way too much
detain
sense.
Alec and Devin.
Schizos
Meanwhile, word
don't
was
make
getting
sense.
out about the calamity at STEM. Devin's friend David recalled the chilling moment he found out what was happening.
I got a message saying that there were 3 shooters and that one of them had purple hair, and immediately I just went like, Devin, it's gotta be Devin.
With all of these statements, the police now knew what had happened. The reason why, however, remained elusive.
So why were you planning to do this?
I feel like I was doing people a favor, like showing them the real world. I'm basically showing people how I feel.
Was your intention to shoot people today?
Not really. I wanted to shoot, but I didn't necessarily want to kill anyone. I just want them to have something bad happen to them. I'm still like I'm just in awe about how I let my thoughts get to me like this, how I thought I was in control, but I'm not. I was just thinking,
surely
I'm just doing what everyone expected me to.
At what point did you know that Alec was going to hurt students or shoot the school? Or shoot anybody at the school?
Once I knew he was going to, when I saw the axe and he was like getting really pissed off at me with the cocaine and stuff, and he like told me I better get back. I was like thinking I could still talk him out of it and convince him not to, that he was just probably going to do something stupid, because at first I thought he might just, but obviously not.
Okay. So when he had the axe, that's when you first thought that?
That's when I was like, okay, he's serious. He's gonna like hurt me if I don't cooperate with him.
Alex said that actually wasn't the case.
What was your intention if he didn't do the cocaine?
So this soy boy has one phone recording and one axe like this, and he's in this other guy's house, and the other guy in the house is telling me that he can't get away or can't run or can't get help, whatever. This guy had this massive axe rested on one hand, right, distracted, whatever, and I couldn't get away. Bro, that would never fly.
But I really wasn't going to do anything.
This wasn't the only discrepancy the police had noticed. They began to press Devin harder about some of their concerns, but his responses ended up raising more questions than they answered.
When Alec messaged you and asked you to pick him up at school, you went back to the school, you picked him up. Did you ever see a weapon on him?
No, I was just really worried about him because I thought he might hurt himself too. But I was also a little bit scared because, like, I know he has all those problems. I didn't know if he was going to snap or something.
Alec, though, said that Devin decided he was willing to go through with the attack on his own.
We weren't going to go through with it, but then he was like, I'm back, and, like, I'll do what you want me to. And I was like, okay.
Aside from when you made threats to him at home, like, with the axe and all that stuff, did you say anything to him? Threatening, or?
I was just, I don't know. He was just, like, okay with everything. I think he thought that I had a point. I think I actually got into his head, and he was listening to me.
On that note, the detectives began to wrap up Alec's interrogation.
I hope no one died today.
Tragically, there was one fatality at the STEM shooting. Kendrick, the first student to rush Devin, had been shot twice and was pronounced dead shortly after the responding officers dragged him to safety. Officers met with Kendrick's parents to answer what questions they could, and in the process learned more about what a hero Kendrick was.
Rest in peace,
His
young
parents described him as kind, outgoing, and a friend to everyone.
They asked, are you surprised that he would do that? And immediately both of us were like, no, it doesn't surprise us. And you're going to pull one kid out of there and it has to be mine, that has to have this happen to him. I just can't figure it out. We get to view him today. Since the last time I seen him alive, and I don't know if I'm ready for that.
The initial interrogation concluded, but the police would soon speak with Alec again and learn that there was still more to be uncovered. Devin, on the other hand, stuck to his story and professed his innocence.
Did you ever try telling an adult at any point?
Yeah, so I went to the office to try and tell the adults, and then I was going to try and tell Miss Harper, but he was already in there.
After he loaded up guns and brought them to the school? Yes, and he had them loaded up and brought to the school, because the thing was, once he made his plan clear and had the axe, I didn't have a way to go to anybody, because that was the last time we were at the house. Did it ever cross your mind to tell an adult before that point? No. Because I had all these other reasons and all these things he was telling me.
No.
And I believed him.
Write it down. Write it down.
He was seeming like he was fine. And he told, like, he was fine. So I didn't think it was anything to worry about.
So threatening, feels threatened, then no more threat, but he still thinks the guy's gonna do nothing, so goes along with whatever because nothing's gonna happen. And then back at the school, now the threat is somehow apparent again, but he's gonna tell somebody, but he doesn't, but still traps people in. Like, this guy's Brendan.
You didn't think it's anything to worry about when somebody tells you don't come to school tomorrow?
I thought he was still like, he was just like still messing with me a little bit. All of us just joke about that stuff. It's just like teenage boys do that stuff. I never thought he would do all that.
I don't think teenage boys bring 4 guns and a fucking guitar case at the school. What?
You realize we were teenage boys.
Yeah, I know, but my parents don't really understand that humor, so I just figured I'd say that. I'm sorry. Oh.
In talking to so many witnesses, it became clear that Devin was known for his dark humor. However, his friend David took it one step further.
I wouldn't call him violent, I don't think, right off of the bat, but he has sociopathic tendencies. He's a very cold person. He gets angry really fast, and he's very irrational. He would have like these bipolar bursts where
you snitch.
He would just snap at us, you know,
I was
tell
not even
us to
snitching.
go off
It's
or
just,
whatever. And he really seemed to victimize himself as soon as any kind of blame was put on him. Very big liar. He's manipulative. I see Devin as a lost cause.
This is not your fault. There's nothing you could have done that prevented it, because you seem like a pretty nice guy. Devin made these decisions on his own, and this doesn't come down on you. Because keeping it in is going to be the worst thing for you. And you're going to have a lot of friends out there that are going through the same exact thing. So be there for each other, okay? Check in on each other. And, you know, talk to mom.
David also shared that Devin had recently
because
broken
he
up
feels
with his
bad
girlfriend.
that
Another
he was
Snapchat
associated
saved
with the
on
guy.
Alex's account
He could have
offered a
maybe done
potential
this. He saw,
explanation why.
but he knows that he saw things that were weird. And then now in hindsight, it makes sense. But then if you put yourself in the shoes of him back in the day when he was
question
a
of his
friend,
involvement wouldn't be
you
resolved
could have
for
never
quite
done
a
this,
while.
right? But he
For
still
now,
feels
the
bad
police
about
were
it.
unconvinced by his claims of innocence, and both Devin and Alec were taken to jail.
So that's
While
why
in
he
the
cried.
county jail, Devin kept busy with many phone calls, including this fraught interaction with his parents.
The only thing was, today was like the Julia and like Dr. Tyndall thing was like they're prepping me
Because
for
he
the
feels
state
guilty
hospital
even though he
visit
knows
thing,
he's
so
not.
it was really stressful because they were like doing like fake like.
Devin, let's not talk about that.
Dad, this is not about the case. We're allowed to talk about this. I don't know why you're so freaking touchy.
I always want to make sure we take the safe route. That's all.
Whatever.
So, anyways,
I'll talk about one freaking thing with you guys.
However, it wasn't just family members that Devin kept up with. It seems that somehow, despite being under lock and key, he began a romantic relationship with a girl named Melanie.
you're my baby.
You know, send him an apple.
But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows in that relationship either.
You told me that your love for me was a joke. I don't know why you call me if I make you so miserable.
Just 'cause it's just like fun to like make fun of you sometimes. Say bronchitis without stuttering.
Bronchitis.
Bronchitis. You stuttered, so.
No, I didn't. You're taking advantage of me. You're using me for your entertainment. I thought I had a special place in your heart.
Yeah, you do. It's last. So I'm gonna dump you for Peppa Pig if you don't shut up.
Oh my God, stop. They're tears on my face right now.
Why?
Because I don't want that to happen, and I'm so confused right now.
Devin wasn't the only one who kept in touch with the outside world, though. 9 months after Alec and Devin were arrested, Alec reached out to detectives to share additional details about the case. When they got to talking, many of the sinister details the police had suspected all along were finally confirmed.
Plan was, it was going to look like I was the one that was killing all these people, but it was Devin, but it was going to be pinned on me because he was going to shoot me in the head. He was going to come out like the hero in this situation. He was going to essentially stop me.
What?
Why did you do that for Devin?
Because I felt like he was going through a lot of pain in life. I felt like he was going through a lot, and I wanted to help him.
What if you guys got caught?
Man, this sounds a little bit more like some real sketchy shit.
Get arrested.
Another inconsistency between Alec's new statement and what Devin said in his interview on the day of the shooting emerged when the investigators came to the topic of the firearms.
Who loaded the guns?
Alec loaded the guns.
Some like
Why do
hero
you
complex or
leave
something? I don't know.
Because he had me in the corner of the closet. I was
They don't disregard,
he still had the guns.
You know,
and the ammo.
people always say that the kids, the teenagers, they have it easy, they don't feel pain, but they do. They do feel pain.
You put a gun in my head.
You don't disregard that. That's how you get these people.
Wait, you're not Howard.
You
disregard them.
If
You have
Alex's new story was true, it
to
threatened
teach
to
them how to
undercut
work
Devin's
through that.
accusations entirely.
That's
At
what you
any
do.
point, as
You
this
teach
happened,
them.
Was Devin trying to leave?
No.
Get out of the closet at all?
No.
Even on the day of the shooting, the police noticed issues with Devin's story and didn't hesitate to call him out.
Why didn't you flee the house?
I was in the back of, so in this closet in my mom's room, there's only one door. He was on that side. The safe's laid down in the middle, and I'm on the other side of the safe. He told me to stay on that side.
Right. What I don't understand is how is he loading the gun?
Because he made me give him the bullets while still holding the hatchet. He grabbed the guns with his other hand, and then that's when he made me hand him the ammo. He told me to sit down, still holding the hatchet, put one bullet in and put it in the magazine and cocked it so there was one in the chamber he could aim at me.
Devin insisted he was innocent, but something else he said that day led the police to believe he was anything but.
The only way I'd let him live is if he helped me.
It's possible that Devin just got tongue-tied, but police had to wonder if this was the truth slipping through accidentally.
So a lot of this to me sounds like self-preservation.
Then why do I have videos of him threatening me, and why do I have all the evidence? If you find his iPhone, you will see a video of me crying while he makes me do that. This kid gave me cocaine, and you're expecting me to think straight?
Before you did cocaine.
I'm freaking the out, dude.
Again, Devin said something during one of his jail calls that made this defense even more questionable.
The cocaine made me aggressive.
I was like literally about to do shrooms one night, and then Alec sent me a picture of like want to come do cocaine, and I was like, sure.
Yeah, I'm so glad I started doing cocaine because that was great for me. Came 10 years off my lifespan.
In fact, Devin claimed that his substance use history was far more extensive than he'd initially let on.
I think I like smoked too much weed, and like I permanently did that to my brain.
I was high on cough medication like every day for like 4 months straight.
On another occasion, Devin said that Alec talked him through a particularly intense trip that included some very dangerous decisions.
And so basically Alec was like, I'm going to stay on the call with you so you can talk to me through this. And so we fucking, like, he just, like, talked to me, and I drove all the way home.
9 months later, in Alec's second interview, Devin's so-called video evidence is brought into question in a discussion with the investigators.
The videos that you made at the house, that was... Tell me again why.
So it would all come together in the plan that, I have proof in case he didn't come out there. I had proof that, or he had proof that I made him do it.
Okay. To make it seem like he was forced into this?
Yes.
Okay. Was he forced into this?
No, it was a mutual agreement. It took us a couple times, like 3 times to actually shoot this video.
Okay.
The first time, we were laughing, and we couldn't get it like through the video. And then the second time,
there's 0% chance this guy was actually on lean or anything similar. It's like hard to get. This guy could not get his head on that. This guy was probably on fucking dextro at most or whatever, and even then he probably didn't even take enough to be really high or whatever, because he probably like some discount bullshit Nyquil that has so much like Tylenol in it that you couldn't even get half of it. The guy is just talking shit.
It was like, I just didn't think it was convincing enough.
Just stop.
So after the video was shot, are you still holding a gun to his head? Or
no.
Do you put it down and you guys are, buddy again?
No, I put the gun away. The gun was on safety the whole time.
Fucking
I wasn't gonna shoot him. He was talking about how he has 2 alter egos, two like split personalities, I don't know. And he was saying that one of them is
no, they're just making up some anime shit.
I'm not.
It's just,
and the other one's
it's
like
just anime.
After that we were hugging
It's just
out, saying goodbye to him. He said he was glad
They
he
make
met
this
me,
shit up,
and he,
but I swear I've seen this in
decides
an
never
anime
to see me
before.
again.
During
This is in
Devin's
the
interview
anime.
on
I've
the day
seen
of the
this.
shooting,
I've seen the
police had
movies. I've seen
noticed
the
yet
shows.
another
I've seen this.
inconsistency.
I've played these games before. I know what's going on here.
Maybe like 4 times total.
Okay. So knowing that, how did Kendrick get shot?
Kendrick got shot because my finger was right there still. I was still grabbing it. My finger's right there. He bumps into me because they're rushing me, and they're actually hitting the barrel end of the gun with their body and grabbing me.
Was your finger on the trigger?
My finger was next to the trigger, but it wasn't over the trigger because I wasn't going to hurt anybody. I was just going to tell everyone to stay and then run.
Okay, no shot. No shot anybody's doing anything to the fucking gun. For you to pull the trigger is one, difficult. Also, he's pretty slender and doesn't have a lot of probably force in his finger. It's probably hard for him to try and pull the trigger. There's no shot at having accidentally stop it.
So if I tried to throw it down.
What was going through my head was,
Yes.
should I kill
The people in the
myself
chat
to
says you, but
Do you mind if we take a break?
him saying that is even more.
Do you need any water?
He knows that. Of course he knows that, because he's also that, right? He's also thin. He's had the experience. He knows how that feels. He's been in the shooting
Police
ground
likely
before.
had to wonder if any show of emotion since the
Right,
day
so
of the
he knows how that
incident was
feels.
ever genuine.
So if people say says you, yes, says you. That makes even more. It brings even more weight to the argument. Okay.
But I was going to try to stop him. That's why I went to the office, so I could try to get to an adult who would be able to do it, so the school didn't, people weren't just freaking out.
But you still didn't tell anybody.
Yes, because he told me he was going to the office because he was going to kill me. Okay. And everybody inside the office.
Does it matter because he was going to kill people?
Doesn't matter. It does matter because I was trying to save everybody, not just me.
After composing, Alex said something else that, if validated, obliterated Devin's previous claims.
Did he ever tell you, hey, I can't go through with this, I'm going to refuse to go through with this, I'm backing out, anything like that?
He never told me anything like that.
It wasn't just what Devin hadn't done that led investigators to suspect that he'd helped instigate the crime. Mr. Pritchard, who had tried to save Kendrick, discovered this disturbing footage of Devin leaving the office and meeting up with Alec.
He said, let's go or something.
In his interview soon after the incident, the detectives had tried to get the truth from Devin, but he wouldn't budge.
So again, at what point did you try to stop him?
There was multiple times he just kept threatening me.
Not what I'm hearing.
That's exactly what you're hearing.
Literally, you're separate.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you guys anymore until I have a lawyer and my dad. Get him in here because you guys aren't listening to me. I'm telling you something. I have evidence. I can show you all that. I gave you all this. And you guys are still just making it like I tried so hard.
Since Devin wanted to speak with a lawyer back then, the detectives departed, leaving him alone in the interrogation room where his pleas of innocence continued.
I'm innocent, no matter what I'll tell you. I'm innocent, okay?
In the interview now, Alec's story included even more drastic changes.
Tuesday the 7th. On that specific day is when Devin had that specific class that he wanted to shoot up.
Mitchell, the student Devin had a verbal altercation with, had been in room 107, but that wasn't all. Mitchell said that Devin disliked Ms. Harper because she demanded her students make an effort in class.
How dare she?
Alec's statement seemed to support the theory that the attack was very
like I
carefully
said,
timed.
It's the arrogance. They're so arrogant, man.
Mitchell. He doesn't trust him.
Where was Mitchell?
I need to put in effort to do something.
As it turned out, Alec's aim was true. Mitchell had
I
given
don't
his
just get to
statement
do whatever
police
I
from a
want.
hospital bed after the incident.
I remember just after the first gunshot, I remember standing up and running. I remember more gunshots. I remember falling over. I run towards that door, and I pass Kendrick, and he's laying down, face down, not moving, and he's breathing.
He told police that he and several other students fled through the cafeteria and out of the school.
I run like past about, I want to say 4 different buildings before I'm like out of breath. I'm like, this is so weird. Why am I out of breath? And then I reach behind me and feel my back. I pull my hand forward, and there's blood there. I didn't know that I got shot.
Mitchell's classmates had applied pressure to the wound and called 911. When more shots were fired, later determined to have been fired by Sam, a Good Samaritan had helped move the group inside to the safety of his house. Paramedics arrived shortly afterwards to take Mitchell to the hospital. Back with Alec, police learned even more about Devin's involvement in the lead-up to the crime.
Did you guys do, I guess, any other sort of research into how to carry this plan out?
Not to how to carry the plan out. It was when Sol Pais came to Colorado, and we heard that she had like Columbine tattoos. That's kind of when we started searching up Columbine.
Okay.
And it wasn't to execute this plan. It was just kind of trying to put the 2 and 2 together.
Okay.
With Sol Pais and the Columbine.
Sol Pais was a student who received national attention when she became the subject of a large FBI manhunt after she was found armed in Colorado on the 20th anniversary of the Columbine school shooting. Given her obsession with that incident, police believed she was planning a copycat massacre at Columbine School on its anniversary. Facebook records indicated that Devin and Alec had discussed Sol Pais at length, even sending each other screenshots of her website and Instagram.
Why is that
Follow-up investigation had revealed even more on the subject of Columbine on Alec's Snapchat.
Tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of the Columbine shooting. It's like, geez, everything's going on in 1 week.
In hindsight, it seems disturbingly obvious why Alec saved this clip. Unfortunately, the video did not reveal who the speaker was. The police knew by now that Devin's interest in Columbine was not the only red flag. Back in the early days of the investigation, one of Devin's former classmates, Brian, had shared some chilling information.
He would like just come up behind me and do like all those school shooter jokes.
Okay, and what kind of school shooter jokes would you say?
When the pencil hits the floor, I'm gonna start shooting. I'm gonna take this 0 to Columbine real quick.
Okay. How often would you say stuff like that?
About every day.
Back in the present with Alec, the police had a few more things they wanted to follow up on.
In the interview with Detective Williamson, you mentioned something about gamer boat.
Just edgy TikTok jokes in real life.
I think it was blobfish.
That's brain rot.
Blogfish?
That's black mold.
Blobfish.
I'm sorry. Blobfish.
What is that?
The fish.
That was going to be code word for Devin shoot me.
This memory was recovered from Alec's Snapchat, proving that they had in fact used the code
funny
word.
Dude, it's the ugly fish.
Blobfish.
If this really was what the code word meant, it seemed that on the day of the crime, Devin would have had to know he would be shooting, if only at Alec all along. 9 months later, in Alec's new version of events, Devin was responsible for more than just the school shooting.
I was doing coke in the bathroom, and I came back, and he was like, he didn't have any clothes on. He had like his boxers on, and that was it. And he was sitting with his mom's nail polish and painting something about like the voices win in the corner of the closet wall.
Alec stated that it had been Devin's idea to vandalize his mother's car, and that still wasn't all.
Did you guys ever have a conversation about locking the doors?
We did have a conversation about taking the magnet strip off the doors.
With the security compromised at school, protecting everyone inside was the top priority. This was one of the main topics Sam discussed with the police. He said that STEM school was the only location where he was directed to not be armed, which felt odd to him. He chose to carry his weapon anyway, with the intention of protecting as many students as possible in the event of violence. Despite saving lives on May 7th, Sam still expressed regret that he did not do more.
I guess
he had an itch, dude. Good security guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
did the best I can, man.
I don't have any doubt that you, by your actions, saved lives. Oh yeah, you took literally one of the two shooters out.
I just wish I could have saved all of them, man.
Surprisingly, Devin had reached out to police 9 months ago, the day after he ended his first interrogation by asking for a lawyer.
All I can think about is Kendrick.
I'm not lying, man. You don't give a shit about him.
Gunshot.
You don't have to act it, man. You don't have to act it.
Devin, are you aware that this was all over the media?
You don't care. You don't care about him. We know. You don't have to act it out, okay? You don't have to rub it in like this. It's already happened. You can forget about it now, right?
Did you help Alex carry this through? Only the parts he made me. At any point, did you plan on doing what Alex told you? No, at no point did I plan on going through with his plan.
When asked about the perspective now, Alec had this to say.
I've changed my perspective on my perspective has changed on me trying to protect Devin, and I need to keep my promises.
Who are you talking about in terms of your promises?
I'm not crazy. I talk to Kendrick a lot.
Dude.
I promised that I would do good for him. I promised I'm gonna help everyone that I can for him. I promised I'm gonna change for the better for him.
I've already gone over this. This is not what schizo people look like. It's not what schizo people look like. People don't, if you're crazy, you don't behave like this.
Alec was ultimately convicted of 11
you don't make
charges,
these obviously calculated points of argument.
After deliberation, murder with extreme indifference, attempted murder, and possession of a weapon on school grounds. Subsequently, Devin and Melanie did a lot of theorizing over the phone regarding what his fate would be.
There was no overkill. You, like, that one kid said you fought, but, like, no one else said you fought back, which, like, obviously you didn't. But, like, there's a lot of things that, like, show that you're not, like, a violent person.
Yeah, I wish the DA would just give me a deal so I didn't have to go to trial, so I could just, like, skirt. Call is recorded and monitored, so, DA Brockler, if you're listening, I'll vote for you. Dude, have I told you about this delusion my parents have that I'm going to get out in like 3 years?
I mean, that'd be sick, but no.
It's not going to happen.
Well, this guy's not going to skirt. Well.
Melanie was right. On September 17th, 2021, Devin Erickson was sentenced to life in prison, plus 1,282 years, despite entering a plea of not guilty. He was convicted on 46 charges in total, including murder after deliberation, murder with extreme indifference, multiple counts of attempted murder, theft, reckless endangerment, and more. He is not eligible for parole. The robotics lab at STEM school has since been renamed in honor of Kendrick. His heroic actions meant that his was the only life lost that day at STEM.
1,200.
His parents still visit his grave every day. The other 8 victims all physically recovered, though the psychological impact on everyone at STEM is incomprehensible.
Yep. You get cooked, man.
Jeez, man.
Wait, there's still 3 minutes? What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I'm about to do that. Chat.
What's up, man?
I find this video to be interesting because of the depth of everything, right? But you know, this video is pretty like it's a big crime, it's a big whatever. I found it to be less. There was just less depth to it. It's just some.
Yeah, just shallow.
Like, just cringe lord.
They
like
didn't.
The world against me, like surface level.
I feel they didn't go deep,
like,
trying to understand the criminals. But you got all the events, you got the whole picture for the crime itself. You knew what's going on, all the moving pieces.
I enjoyed the formatting as always, though. I enjoyed the formatting of the video.
In the end, it just seems too
all the footage and
edgy, arrogant children
on another topic,
that threw
I think they deserve to
tantrum,
put
but got their hands on the gun.
Videos
Right.
Because the name
and
of
then
the
they
game
pretend,
on YouTube
then they
is
don't
to
feel
steal
guilty
as much as
about it,
possible,
and then they
like, it's not to,
pretend
like
that they're
re-upload
not
or whatever.
guilty, that
And
they're
people
not
will,
guilty,
people
right?
will fucking will yoink
And
all
they try
the
to
time,
save
like,
their own
crazy.
ass by throwing the other guy under the bus.
And in hopes
And pretending they're
that their
crazy.
channel does better off the rip because of that the
To farm
algorithm
pity points,
and overtakes
which
them.
you're not gonna get.
These guys, they just kind of
Right,
plastered all
it's
the places
just,
because they did their work of like getting doing the
it's
MMM
right,
bullshit.
it's
or,
just
like,
not interesting.
right
It's just not
information or whatever.
interesting.
And they got they
Who would have guessed
all the specialists
it
or
was
whatever.
gonna go like this? Everyone, everyone would have guessed.
Because you have to apply it.
You've
manually
watched
one by
5
one
of
to
these
get all the
videos,
shit.
you know that this is the
Like, they had
about.
to
This
delete
is just
all the
NPC
what's
behavior.
linked to what and where to
You're
apply,
just
and then they have
NPC
to just do, like,
school
request
shooter.
information, which is like,
There's nothing interesting with
kinda
these
annoying.
people. They're not interesting. Just not. They're just generic. Normandies.
Well, how do you know it's scheduled tomorrow?
What?
Who is that after?
What is this, dude?
Aztec Cross? Who
I'm
is
in
that?
Video here.